Welcome to this Ethereum update. Today we're going to look at supply and demand trading for the Ethereum update because it's showing you what is most likely to happen rather than these endless indicators that people keep talking about, which make literally no sense because they're just using past data. We only need to use the candlesticks to see what is really happening here, guys. So what we can look at right now is supply and demand zones. Now, everyone will talk about a solid line in the sand and we'll call it a support and resistance, but ultimately what it means is the price in a particular area will exhaust and ultimately will push down. So that means, for example, if I break above this high, it doesn't mean that it's going to carry on like this, right? Because it's still just a zone. It's an area at which the price is more likely to turn around, but that doesn't mean that it is going to 100% turn around in this area. One reason that I'm thinking that is because for me actually is the supply zone all the way up here. It's at around $1,500. Now the reason this is my supply zone, and this is how I identified it, guys, is we are looking for institutional money to move markets. How do I know institutional money is moving the markets? Well, they have big pushes like this. This is a cryptocurrency with a massive market cap. It's very difficult for us retailers to move prices as aggressively as this. Okay, we create noise like this because we don't have that much money to move it around, but this is showing me that up here is my accumulation zone because we've had this very big push out and we are waiting to come back. Always we will come back to an area, because what about the other guys, the guys who didn't get to perhaps sell at this price or buy at whatever price if it's on the way up? So what we're really paying attention to, yes, we've got kind of a bit of chop happening here. If we're unable to break solidly and close above this area, we're looking about 1,460 up to here, just under $1,600. Notice I'm not telling you a single price because the prices do break between and they kind of create things like this. But so what I'm anticipating, guys, we have got somewhat of a shoulder here, head and another shoulder. If we look at the height of this particular pattern and we drop it down here, then we'll be looking to break onto our neckline, and lo and behold, we come back up to this supply zone. Okay, I'm not showing you endless amounts of indicators that are all absolute rubbish because they just show you what's happened in the past and everything is different. Looking at past results for future analysis is what the brain is trying to trick you to do, but it's the most stupid thing ever because the institutions know that you think like that and they're trying to beat you. For them to make money, you need to lose money. Okay, so you need to basically join them rather than just copy what everyone else is doing. Okay, so we need to think about what the big institutional money is doing because they're already one step ahead. They know that you're going to try to sell at different areas and buy at different areas, and they're going to try and trick you to make sure that they get the best deals they can. Right now there's lower volume in the market, which I'm sure you've heard other people talking about, but that's because it's a weekend. Obviously there's lower volume in the market. It's the same as if you look at Forex pairs and you're looking in like the Asian session compared with the London, New York sessions. The volume is lower because the markets are closed. It's kind of ridiculous, some of the stuff that I'm hearing about right now. Ultimately, these patterns like this, they do tend to break lower. We could potentially see a lower dip before coming back up towards this zone here, but really for me, I think if we're going to approach this zone, it doesn't mean that we're going to bounce towards the upside. I think we could potentially have another drop towards areas down here again where you're going to have a demand zone. If we're looking at the red area as a supply zone, we can drop this into here, change it into green, and then this becomes a demand zone. Okay, actually as well, we know that this demand zone goes all the way back to previously. And what I was talking about, guys, if we have, this is all the way back at January last year, and you can see the current price, this red line here. In terms of a supply zone here, we can see that we had this big push. This is my institutional push, so I know that my demand zone is just below it, which is here, guys. Look what happens every time we push aggressively out of this area, we come back down, because what about the other guys who didn't get the chance to buy at this price? We see consolidation and then rip. We know that it's going to come back when that happens. Okay, so what we're looking for now on the other side, so we know that this is already a supply zone. It's a bit bigger than this if we look back in past data, but right now we know that our kind of demand zone is down here and our supply zone is up here. Guys, this basically happens on all time frames. So what I think realistically is about to happen for the Ethereum price, it is very unlikely that we tend to break out the top of here. There's not a lot of volume in the market right now, so we're not going to see any particularly drastic moves, but we have to, we're unlikely to be able to break through this zone without having a further drop towards this level and something like this, which potentially give us a nice sort of W pattern where we are then looking to move back to retest up at these sort of levels through here. That's realistically what I'm looking at right now for the Ethereum price, although Ethereum is performing pretty strongly. If we look actually at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, then we can see other significant things have happened. I did just say that, it's unlikely that you break out of rising wedges to the upside, but you can see on the Ethereum Bitcoin price, this is what usually happens in a bull cycle, because all of the smaller market cap coins tend to outperform Bitcoin. And on the flip side of things, when Bitcoin is going down, Ethereum, etc., has smaller market caps, so they get punished far harder towards the downside. So right now, obviously, guys, it depends on what your strategy is with regards to trading these cryptos. A lot of people just want it to go up and up and up because they've sat and maybe they bought at the top and they just want the pain to go away. But ultimately, this is where we can make the most of opportunities because we're still very low down, and this is a solid area which we can start accumulating in. And to go back to all-time highs and stuff from where we are now, it's like a 250 or 300% gains from here, which is obviously pretty amazing if you're looking at our risk to reward ratios. If we are taking another drop, then perhaps we could see a similar drop to another area between sort of $850 and up to around $900. It doesn't have to exactly come to this point. You might see a slightly lower dip further down, which would then just suck up all the stop losses. Think about what the institutions are doing. They need to buy low and they need to sell high, so they need people to shake out and sell. So they might drop just a little bit lower than the previous one here, because that will suck up all the stop losses and allow them to buy the crypto, because a stop loss is basically a sell order. They're going to take all the sell orders and then they're going to move the price towards the upside. But it's kind of getting good, guys. Things are getting exciting. I talked the other day about Solana. All the kind of major cryptos right now are pretty much no-brainers. You haven't got to go and become an expert in crypto right now, guys. It's actually kind of one of the easiest time to invest. And you can go and find coins like Solana, solid blockchains. You can go and find gaming tokens. You can go and find metaverse tokens like Sand, Mana, Decentraland. When Bitcoin moves, these are all going to absolutely boom as well. Obviously, some will boom harder than others, but just spread better across a number of different kind of bigger market cap coins with kind of stuff that you think is cool. Perhaps that might be the use case, perhaps that might be whatever, and ultimately then you're more than likely going to be successful in crypto right now. And you've probably heard experts saying that actually similar things, but obviously go away and do your own research, because trading is risky and it might take a drop. If it takes a drop, buy more, and then it's going to eventually be higher. All you've got to ask yourself, guys, is the price of Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever you're looking at right now going to be higher in the future? Arguably, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer that it is. So, in my opinion, stop trying to call the absolute bottoms and look at these opportunities to load up on your crypto. Guys, hope you're having a great weekend, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye-bye.